Hi and welcome to my portfolio. I decided that I would use themes rather than the domains to categorise my practicum experiences. So I want to introduce you to the themes that I've used. You can see here we've got UDL, or Universal Design for Learning, Wellbeing, RTI or Response to Intervention, PDNL, Professional Development and Learning, IEP, Individual Education Plans, School Culture and Collaboration. So I want to just discuss about why I did it this way. Mainly, I think I just saw so many connections and the ways that all those goals from the domains flowed through my practicum and my practice. So I wanted to show that by theming my practice with the goals and the domains running through them, like that, the real interwoven tapestry type metaphor. Also, I found that between these themes there were so many connections as well. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about those now. For instance, if we take collaboration as a starting point, now collaboration in RTI, it's really important that the Tier 1 teachers collaborate with the Tier 2 and 3 teachers so that there's that generalisation across the tiers. Also with UDL, really important that within Universal Design for Learning you know the learner and the whānau really, really well. So once again, collaboration is going to be really important there. Of course, IEP is huge. There's just so much collaboration goes in interprofessionally with the whānau, with the learner. It's just a huge part of that individual education plan process. With the PDL, just that learning in a social context is really important. And within the inquiry, teacher as an inquiry process, you are encouraged to consider the whānau and the community when you develop the pedagogy and the curriculum decisions that you make. So that's really important with collaboration too. School culture is another really, huge amount of collaboration goes on when you're developing a school culture or changing school culture. Your community links, as in Bronfenbrenner's nested systems, how each layer of that system impacts upon all the other layers. So collaboration is going to be hugely important there. And also with wellbeing, when we're considering whether it be the well-being of the child or the whānau, or the well-being of the systems. Once again, with looking at those nested systems, the health of the child is dependent on the health of the whānau. The health of the whānau is dependent on the systems and supportive ecological environments that surround them. So it's a huge part of that collaboration comes into the well-being as well. Where everything impacts on each other, and also as a personal well-being, your collaboration with your colleagues, with mentors, with people you can just have a chat to, and a bit of a sounding board, which I have done a lot of during my practicum. So collaboration was a real central theme throughout my practicum. But of course there's other ones as well, like the RTI, response to intervention, within the IEP. RTI can be that part of the tier. So your IEP may be with a Tier 3 child, but the Tier 1 instruction is also just so important, and it needs to be considered within both. Your RTI can also inform your PDNL. It could act as a trigger or a motivator for some inquiry processes. The RTI can also help with the school culture. I'm just trying to find the school culture. There it is down there. Because it's a whole school. It's all learners are included. The focus is on quality teaching for all learners, whether that be Tier 1, Tier 2 or Tier 3. So it really becomes part of your school culture, particularly if you're looking at the RTI of PB4L, where it's about behaviour. That has a huge impact on the school culture. And Also, RTI impacts on well-being of the learners. It's individualised program. It's inclusion. It's all those things that are important for well-being. When I look at UDL, that links also to RTI, because UDL needs to be included in that Tier 1 instruction to allow access to the curriculum. And it can also be linked to the IEPs, as their planning from an IEP could well inform your goals within your whole class for a UDL, because with IEP you're looking at adaptation, differentiation, but UDL is actually can answer both of those questions for you in the class. UDL can be part of a really inclusive culture, so it does impact on the school culture as well. It can be a culture within a classroom, but also within the school, where it's an inclusive culture, where everybody has equal access to the curriculum, and also, of course, that impacts on well-being when it's an equitable process. And PDL and culture too, these link up. If you have got learners who are learning from running streams rather than stagnant pools, that's going to really affect the well-being and your school culture. So there's sort of a double link there, where they're interlinked as well. Your school culture and IEPs, really important. Once again, those goals need to be included right the way through into the classroom, not just for an individual, so that it's an inclusive school culture. And your IEP and well-being, of course, massive links there. Massive links where you're considering the learner, but also the well-being of the whānau as part of that cultural responsive practice, and using the Whare Tapawhā from Jury's model of well-being, looking at the holistic well-being of the learner and therefore the whānau as well. And reflective practices are really important for well-being, school culture, the links there as well. As teachers are reflective, then that is encouraging each other, and it's also encouraging a well-being within their classrooms as well. And there's so many links. I could probably just go on and on and on and on. IEPs can also inform your inquiry process as you're trying to meet the needs of an individual. It can help in that. So as you can see, from this diagram, the links across all of these themes were very apparent to me, and it made it really exciting, and it made learning in one theme relate to learning in another, and seeing those links, and particularly for me, I think it was the systems links there were huge, and I'll talk about that later in my philosophy and reflections as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the way that I've set out this portfolio. I hope you can find everything you need to find, and I look forward to getting your feedback. Thanks.